Hi, and welcome along to 98 Not Out. Thanks for clicking on this video. Remember, if you like our stuff, remember, click on the subscribe button to get all of our latest stuff and also on the notifications bell, and you will be told every time we post a new video. This week, we head out to Kathmandu to join Johnny Barran. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, the English summer is here and the cricket season is underway. We've had 2 rounds of the county championship, but something is missing. There is a voice missing as cricket gets underway. And I thought, where is Johnny Barran? So I had a little scout around social media and I found him, and I have got him with me today. Johnny, where are you and why?
Well, Darren, lovely to talk to you. I am in Kathmandu in Nepal, not Nepal. That's one thing I learned fairly early on in Nepal. And I've been out in Nepal for the last 17 days or so, just working for a couple of broadcasters, AP1HD, who are kind of the equivalent to the kind of Channel 4, if you like, out here, and also VU Sports, who are a kind of streaming, global kind of streaming channel that operates in India, and I've been working for them on a tournament out as a commentator in Barawa, which is in the middle of the Lumini province, which is kind of the home of Gautam Buddha, about 7 miles from the Indian border. So yeah, it's been an extraordinary experience, and one which I'm not likely to forget in a hurry.
Nepal, that's a new one on me.
Yes, well, you learn pronunciations are quite a big part of this business. So that, yeah, getting the actual country right is quite important.
Yeah, cricket does seem to be on the up in that part of the world. Matt Floyd spoke to us last year about a tournament that was going on there, and I think the Netherlands came out winners at the time, but the home country acquitted itself pretty well. Any reasons for this growth?
Well, you know, it's the national sport. I think one thing Nepal, interestingly enough, Nepal is quite a fairly substantial nation in its own right. It's 29 million people. So if Nepal was in Europe, it'd be quite a considerable, power in Europe. But when you're stuck in between India and China, who both have over 1 billion people, you can get slightly sort of marginalized to some extent. But I think, it's the national sport. They've got a lot of good up and coming players, if you like, and they've gone up to 12 in the world. They're 12th in the world, and have made enormous strides in recent times, and within a whisker, of course, of qualifying for the World T20s in Australia, just losing their final game in the qualifiers, which was a huge moment of disappointment out here. But they've got a couple of franchise tournaments over here, and numerous support for all the other events and things that happen as far as Nepal cricket is concerned. The players here, if you like, are revered very much like those that would play in the kind of English football Premier League over in the UK. It's a huge national sport here, and bear in mind they're in the same group as Afghanistan back in 2000, and I think it was 2007, 2008, Division 5, if you like, and have come all the way and are within a stone's throw of joining the big dance.
If they're 12th, does that put them above England in the world rankings?
Yeah, 4 places above England. I mean, England, of course, has slipped off the coupon. Where even are England? Yeah, 12th. They're not a million. Yeah, so they're just a fraction away from the major big guns. And they've just had a tri-series here, which was a sort of outside of the ICC competition that went really well. And they've obviously, with Sandeep Lamishani, the captain, who's played in the IPL, he's played Big Bash. He was signed up for the Oval Invincibles last year in the 100, and spends a lot of time sort of globe-trotting, second quickest bowler to 50 ODI wickets in the history of the game. So they've got lots of young talent here, and it's an amazing market. And cricket is front and center of just about everything in Nepal. It's not just trekking the Himalayas and Everest.
You've mentioned the mountains, and it is Nepal is famed for those mountain ranges. Is cricket played at altitude there? Are the grounds high up?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the major cricket, if you like, is all based in Kathmandu. And one of the reasons for this event being in Barawa, which is probably the third or fourth city, at best in Nepal, was to try and take the game, if you like, out of the sort of normal metropolitan centres and try and grow it, and use the idea, the opportunity of playing in another location to try and just ensure that there's exposure for the game outside of Kathmandu. It's very easy, there's quite a big bit of infrastructure here in Kathmandu in terms of the ground. It's capable of holding 25,000 people. So it was a bit of a leap of faith, if you like. But what they wanted to do was take it out to the regions. But yeah, we are extremely high up here, and a lot of cricket is played at altitude, but a lot of cricket is played elsewhere. But I think it's the key thing with this particular event, which is called the Fancy Akada Pro Club Championship, was to try and take the cricket out of Kathmandu, out to the provinces. But still within that, you're taking all the internationals with you. We had also the Malaysian cricket side were part of this tournament as well. They're 33 in the world who've been over here for a tri-series with Nepal, and then 2 sides from Delhi and 1 side from Bangladesh. So it had a real international flavour, this event, and was the kind of first of its kind, if you like, that was outside of Kathmandu. So it was, it was an incredible experience. But yeah, they're trying to grow the game outside of the metropolitan centres here.
I've been following your progress on Instagram, and it's been very, very entertaining. A bit of
tuk-tuk action.
describing
it. Yeah, it has been incredible. I think when Matt Floyd and I discussed this trip, he said it's an adventure like no other, in terms of what you'll experience here. And I think, I arrived in Kathmandu, I had about 4 hours, I think, overnight, sleep, and then caught a lift with the Malaysian national cricket team in a bus from Kathmandu to Barawa, which normally would take 6 hours if all the roads were open, but unfortunately it weren't, and it took 12 hours. So that was my opening gambit, if you like, for the tour. But yeah, it's been hugely entertaining.
And I can see in your background that there's Kathmandu. How big a city is it?
Now that's a really good question. I can probably ask the chaps here. How many people in Kathmandu?
2.7 million.
2.7 million. There we go. 2.7 million.
Fantastic.
There we go. I'll give you another little. Here's the backdrop behind me. So we're pretty high up, as you can see here.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And the sunset over down below there. Little bit of smog knocking about, but that's probably another conversation. So 2.7 million here in Kathmandu.
And you've been you've not been travelling solo. You mentioned that you catched a lift on the team bus, and the cricket badger's been with you as well.
Yeah, it's been incredible to work with Andrew Leonard, who is very much seen as the associate king, if you like. He pretty much does every single ICC tour level event for all the associates, alongside he did the under-19s World Cup quite recently. Much loved here. You cannot move around with him without selfies being taken on every street corner. It's extraordinary. He's an enormous local celebrity here. So it was very nice to kind of hang on to the coattails of Superman. But obviously Andrew Leonard used to work for the ICC, obviously Cricket Ireland as well. But yeah, his schedule this year is extraordinary. Does a lot of women's cricket on the pathway circuit as well. But he's described as, I think, the father-in-law, bizarrely, of Nepali cricket. And I'm not quite sure how it's the father-in-law. God's godfather maybe might be better, but no, he is described the father-in-law, bizarrely, of Nepali cricket.
I'm just looking at the backdrop there. How does it compare in experience to other Asian destinations such as maybe India, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka?
I think, I'm not extensively travelled. My last trip was to work for Star Sports, actually, or last trip to Asia was to do Bangladesh, Afghanistan. And there, Bangladesh, you still have to be a little bit wary about, your movements, if you like. And I did find, actually, it was kind of hotel to sort of airport to hotel to cricket ground to hotel, back to cricket ground, and then airport at the end. I saw none of the country. Whereas one of the lovely things about being in Barawa was that it was about a 5-minute walk to the ground. So every morning we would walk up to the ground. In the evening we would walk back, and the evenings are wonderful because you get the setting sun and you get all the kind of street vendors out on the kids coming home from school. We pick up a little bit of sugarcane juice on the way back, and kind of vaguely immersed in the local culture, if you like, and being able to sort of walk unhindered. Was just fantastic. And that's the same kind of experience here in Kathmandu. You can literally get on pretty much with your wits about you, with just getting on with your life as you do. And I've absolutely loved that. And people are, because they're so engaged in cricket, they always want to know what's going on, what are you doing, thank you for coming here, that kind of thing. It's been incredible. So I've been to Mumbai before to watch, not cover cricket, but I was there in 2006 in the Flintoff test where they drew 1-1 with India, and that was an incredible experience. But I think in Mumbai, and certainly in India, you have to be a little bit more street savvy, whereas it does feel the generosity of spirit here is incredible. But no, it's been an amazing experience.
And given the altitude, is it a bit cooler, and is the air a bit clearer than when you're in, say, Mumbai?
Well, I tell you what, Bangalore was hot, really hot. And we were in a ground with, shall we say, basic infrastructure would probably be the best way of describing it. And it was up to 41 degrees. There were 17 matches to cover, all live, on the national TV channel over here. So it is fairly harsh conditions. So 9 days, 2 games a day with a final on the final day. And the heat is around about 41, 42, high humidity as well. It's a sort of grueling conditions. Kathmandu's gorgeous, actually. In the evenings, it's a very easy temperature. The highs can get up to around about 30, 33, but often, actually, a large part of the year, it's around about 20, 21. So, in the evenings, you might even take a jacket with you. It's a lovely, lovely temperature here in Kathmandu. But Barua, my gosh, that was an absolute furnace, I have to say.
Well, I gather you're about to get on a plane and return to the scorching English weather that we get in late April.
Well, yes, it's going to take a while, Darren. I think I've got I think a lovely 12-hour transit in Doha, so I can see how the World Cup preparation's going on. I can report for that. That's all going on there. But in principle, I'll be back at some stage on Wednesday evening with any luck.
And what are your immediate plans, cricket-wise?
Well, good question, really. There's obviously we're starting in the championship season, and there's the T20 campaign isn't a million miles away, actually. So there's quite a number of commitments sort of to get going with. In principle, I'm sort of hopefully coming back out here in November for the Everest Premier League, which I think will be their 4th edition, which would be absolutely amazing. Babar Azam is rumoured to be playing in that tournament. And I love the way out here that if there's a sniff of a rumour, they all talk about it, including the organisers, whereas normally you wouldn't go near anything until you see him literally putting the club colours on and walking out there. Do you know what I mean? Here it's like, oh no, we'll talk about it, and in the hope that actually it happens. So hoping to come back out here in Nepal, and there's a couple of other really exciting overseas engagements that I've been approached about, and it's just whether I can fit them all in with the diary. So, Darren, like you and I are quite similar people. We have to sort of earn a living as well as sort of pursuing our hobbies as well. So there's my actual boss, the amazing Neil O'Brien, has very kindly let me sort of come out on this sort of sabbatical, if you like. But I have to get back and start earning money for him and the business and the agency when I get back as well. So there's some real work to be done. But no, it's been an incredible experience, a kind of once in a lifetime thing, because I always wanted to come. Nepal has been on my bucket list to come. My family spent a lot of time here. My sister used to live here. My mother comes here on numerous occasions, and to come here in a work capacity and in a TV broadcast capacity has been amazing, because largely I'm a radio guy, so doing 9 days of TV disciplines, it's been the most incredible learning experience and brilliant experience. I've absolutely loved it.
Well, of course, we remember you as being the voice of the ICC coverage of England winning the World Cup at Lord's, which amazingly is nearly 3 years ago now, but still, what a moment.
Yeah, incredible. No, I was hugely lucky to be at Lords on that final day, and to be involved with the broadcast, and to be there for the final moments. You had Ian Smith a couple of boxes away, Jonathan Agnew, of course. Those are the two calls that most people recognise. But little old B was there doing the stuff that went out across all other regions. No, it was the most incredible experience. And again, that, if you like, that sort of 3 minutes of that final ball of that epic World Cup final has kind of allowed me to start to live my dream and come to places like this. I couldn't be luckier.
Yeah, and we had Ian Bishop on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he's obviously remembered for his "remember the name" quotes at the T20 World Cup final in 2016, and he just mentioned that luck played a big part in that, because Bumble was the main commentator, but just passed the microphone to Bish at that vital moment, and out came the quote.
Yeah, I mean, I think the what's really interesting about those kind of what I would call clutch moments of broadcasting is that if you get them wrong, it'll haunt you till your dying day. Because in cricket, like in football, there's lots of moving parts. And what I did remember is that I've listened back to all the broadcasts of that World Cup final. And having watched every professional game he's played since the age of 17, I know exactly what Jason Roy looks like, operates, how he moves, all his mannerisms. And I named him as the fielder, whereas it would have been safer to go for a more generic line, if you like, about good throw from mid-wicket or something along those lines. And it wasn't until about 40 minutes after the game that it was actually confirmed that it was definitely him that threw the thing. And in that period of time, I thought, oh my God, the biggest opportunity of my life. I might just have made a monumental Horlicks on it. But thankfully, I stuck to my guns. And I didn't get it wrong, which is which was an incredible, aspect to the whole thing.
Well, you didn't, and you secured your place in broadcasting history.
Well, I'm not sure I'm anywhere near the likes of, I'm not even fit to lace the boots of the likes of Smith and of course Bish, who's incredible man, who I've been lucky enough to sort of not work alongside, but work on the same broadcast for Flow Sports for the last few years. But those are the icons. I'm just merely a foot soldier in the makeup of things. But it's it's a journeyman, if you like. But occasionally we get every dog has its day, so to speak.
The king of modesty. Johnny, great to catch up with you. Have a safe trip back, and we'll look forward to catching up when you're back on home shores.
Can't wait. Hopefully in the next day or so, subject to various logistical things. But yeah, looking forward to returning.
Johnny Barran, all the way from Kathmandu in Nepal. Many, many thanks.